Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick demonstration on how to make these awesome tie masks. I know a lot of hospitals and nursing homes are looking out to the public to have them sewn and donated to them. The one thing I like about this is that it is 100% adjustable, and it is extremely difficult right now to find any type of elastic, and there have been complaints that elastic has been rubbing on their ears, so I think that this is a great way to eliminate that problem. I'm going to be using a cotton sheet. Most people recommend to use two colors, that way they can tell which side goes in and which side goes out. However, I only have black material at this time and I don't want to venture out to go get fun colors. I am also going to be demonstrating how to make these straps because I don't have any ribbon either. These masks are very durable. They'll be able to be washed and used multiple times. And so yeah, let's get started. All right, so I'm going to go through a list of all the items that you'll need to get started. Of course, a sewing machine, an iron, a scissors, some sort of white marking utensil so that you can see it up. Depending on what color cloth that you use, you might need a different color, and a ruler. So what I do is I mark it out on the material and I use the scissors to cut out each piece. You will need one 8x14 piece for the face mask part, and you will need two 1.5 inch by 34 inch pieces for the ties. Let's get started. All right, so we're gonna begin with making our head straps. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the edge and fold it over into the center and press it. It's going to be about 1/2 inch into the center. And then I'm going to turn it and flip, or I'm going to flip it to do the other side. Take that and you're going to fold it into the center again. So it almost makes like a tube. And then we're going to heat press the other side. I know it's probably tough to see because the material is black, but we're going to do the best we can and try and get you guys a really good tutorial so that you can go out and help your community. All right, so strap one is done. We're gonna take and do another one here. Again, we're just gonna take the edge, fold it into the center, and press it. I know some people are pretty handy and they can do both sides at once. However, this is the best way I can do it. Flip it over and do the other side. As you can see, it lays a nice crease down. That'll be very helpful later on when you make these. I actually only use pins to hold my plates in the mask. So pressing just makes it so much easier in the long run. All right, and then we're gonna move on to our face mask part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this in, I say about 1/2 inch. Give yourself some room, especially if you're fairly new at sewing. It just gives you a little bit more of a buffer. You're gonna do the long edge, so the 14-inch sides. And that's all that we are going to iron for right now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this mask and put your folds on the outside. I don't have my tripod. So you're gonna match up the edges and then you're gonna sew along there. So you're gonna start out and you're gonna do a couple stitches and then you're gonna back it up. That way the stitching holds through multiple washes. You're gonna make sure that your folds are down as well. You can put a pin in there, that'll help. Just gonna lift my foot up over the top of that. Straighten out my bottom edge. And there we have it. So after going through the video a little bit, I realized I forgot to include, you will need some pens. After sewing this into what looks like a tube, you're gonna fold it inside out. While keeping your seam folded to the inside because you're gonna be stitching that. So you just wanna tuck it in. And then I usually put the crease on the very bottom of the mask. So once I get everything aligned, I'm just gonna take my iron and I'm gonna press everything down to get it nice and smooth and no wrinkles. This will help when you go to do your pleating. So to start your pleating, you're gonna flip your sheet or flip your material over and fold about 1 inch over. And then you're gonna take your pins, and I usually go about 1/2 inch. I'm gonna put it on both sides, 1/2 inch. Try to make them as even as you can to make the pleats so they're nice and even. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it over this way and fold it out like that, and then you're gonna take and you're gonna snug the material all the way up to your pin so it's nice and tight, and then just crease it again. This will help it lay flat when you go to sew it. And then we're gonna do our second pleat. So the same thing, we're gonna flip the material over, almost fold it just about in half, maybe a little bit more than half. And you're gonna put another pin in, about 1/2 inch. Do the other side again. And then we're going to fold it out. So as you can see, I have just about 3 perfect 1-inch pleats. And then we'll press it down again. Just do one good over the top. I think that's looking very nice. So let's go and we will start sewing our straps. So in order to start our straps, I'm going to be making a white mark here at the 14.5 inch spot, because I found that this works the best for making the face mask center. Okay, so to create our ends, we're gonna take the end of the fabric and fold it in, and then take your creased seams and fold them to the inside, half and half, so that it makes that tube. And then we are going to fold it in half again. Again, some people would probably prefer to pin it. I feel like it's wrapped up pretty good, so I can get it underneath my foot. All right, so we're gonna do a left justified to give a little bit of room underneath the foot in order to grasp the material. We're gonna do a couple stitches forward. Gotta move my material in a little bit. There we go. And then we're gonna go back. And then we're gonna go forward again. We're just gonna sew just along that seam there to be sure to grab both sides of the material. As you can see, it is sewing nicely on both sides. And we're gonna go down to that little white mark that we made. Press the edges, the material is folding nicely. So then once we get to our little white mark, we are going to add the pleated material. You're going to want to go with the pleats so that the sewing machine will run over nicely. So I'm just going to slip this here, and then we're going to put it right to the edge of the material. So we're gonna fold the material, and then we're just gonna go right along the seam there, and just continue on. Once we get to the edge of the material, we'll just keep continuing to do the remainder of the string. Once we get to the end of the material here, we're gonna do that same fold in and then do two sides. Oh, Raina's awake. And then we're gonna continue on. Do some reverse. And there you have it. So you can see we have a nice sewn line. We've cut both sides of the material, and we're going to do the same to the other side. So we're going to fold in the edge, fold in the side, fold in the other side, and then fold it in half again. We're going to do a left side justified this time. Do a couple stitches forward, a couple back. I got a little out sorts here. Just try that again. We got to our white mark. We're going to run this on the inside this time to go with the pleats again. We're just going to take that, lay it to the very edge, and continue on.
This is part of a seam that we had already had from the material that I used from the sheet. Cut it off. Okay, and then we're just going to pull our pins out. And there you have it. There's our face mask. Pretty simple to make. Can be a little time consuming making your own strings, but I think it's well worth it.
So I just want to say a quick thank you for watching. As you can see, these are pretty simple to make. They can make a huge impact on your community. So if you have any fabric or time to donate, please do so. I think as a community we can all stick together and help each other out in a time of need. And I just wanted to say thank you.